something truly unusual is happening on Mars. At Jezero Crater, NASA's Perseverance rover is excavating what may be the oldest memories of the red planet. And within those billion-year-old layers of sedimentary rock, scientists have found something never before seen. Tiny, round mineral formations, only about 0.2 to 1 millimeter in size, have been discovered and named leopard spots and poppy seeds. Spectral analysis reveals a distinct chemical difference between their cores and outer rims, a process strikingly similar to iron reduction reactions known to occur in microbe-rich environments on ancient Earth. Could these be the first biological traces, the faint whispers of life once existing on Mars? A planet that long ago had a dense atmosphere, flowing water, and conditions capable of sustaining life? Get ready, because what Perseverance has just uncovered could change everything we thought we knew about life in the universe. At the Shiava Falls outcrop, part of the Bright Angel Formation, an area once covered by the Neretva Vallis River billions of years ago. Data from NASA's Perseverance rover has finally revealed the first traces within those ancient rocks. Two strange microscopic structures called leopard spots and poppy seeds. They are not ordinary natural shapes. They are ordered structures that carry complex chemical signatures within them. When scanning the surface of Shiava Falls, Perseverance recorded numerous small round patterns resembling leopard skin, each only about 0.2 to 1 millimeter in diameter. Under the microscope, these leopard spots appeared with an extraordinarily organized chemical pattern in which iron, phosphorus, and organic carbon compounds are concentrated unusually in the core region. These are the three fundamental elements of life on Earth, participating in the basic reactions that form nucleic acids, proteins, and cellular energy. The presence of phosphorus is especially remarkable. In biology, phosphorus plays an essential role in the structure of DNA and RNA, and in ATP molecules, the foundation of all living activity. The discovery of phosphorus together with carbon and iron in a clear concentric pattern forced NASA researchers to pause their usual reasoning. On Earth, similar structures appear when ancient microorganisms accumulate minerals around their cells during metabolism, a kind of biological fingerprint known as a biosignature. Could purely inorganic chemical reactions under special pressure and temperature conditions create similar shapes and compositions without the participation of life? However, what truly shocked the scientific world came from the second discovery: poppy seeds. In rock samples from the same area, Perseverance recorded hundreds of small round mineral grains, each the size of a pinhead, with structures so unusual that they can hardly be explained by normal physical processes. When analyzed, each poppy seed showed a clear difference between the core and the outer rim. The core contains iron in a low oxidation state, while the outer rim is rich in highly oxidized iron. On Earth, the same phenomenon has only been observed in biological iron reduction, a process in which anaerobic microorganisms use iron minerals to generate energy. When that process ends, it leaves behind cores and rims with different iron ratios. The poppy seeds on Mars reproduce that pattern almost perfectly. Could this be evidence of an ancient microbial ecosystem? Or merely a non-biological chemical phenomenon that humans have never known before? Experts compared the Martian rock samples with Earth's oldest geological strata, especially in Greenland and Pilbara, Australia, which preserve the oldest known microbial fossils on the planet, more than 3.4 billion years old. The results were astonishing. The Martian specimen showed a high similarity in morphology, concentric structure, and signs of iron reduction reactions. This suggests that the environmental conditions in Jezero Crater were once very similar to those of early Earth, sufficient to support basic biological activity. Additional analyses from the SuperCam spectrometer revealed the presence of clay and carbonate minerals, compounds that form only in environments with neutral liquid water, the ideal conditions for life to develop and be preserved. Meanwhile, atmospheric data indicated that billions of years ago, Mars had a thicker atmosphere, rich in carbon dioxide, and could maintain a stable temperature. But just as belief in the possibility of life began to rise, a counter-question immediately followed. If life once existed, what caused it to disappear? These hypotheses grew stronger when orbiters such as Mars Express and MRO detected signs of liquid brine beneath the polar ice layers and seasonal fluctuations of methane, signals that might be linked to biological activity. On Earth, methane is often a byproduct of anaerobic microbial processes. So, is Mars's methane geological in origin or biological? Yet another scenario emerges. Even if the leopard spots and poppy seeds turn out not to be biological, they would still represent evidence of previously unknown geochemical processes, opening a new door for planetary material science. If you love discoveries like this and don't want to miss what comes next, be sure to subscribe to WUFO. After Perseverance discovered strange microscopic structures called leopard spots and poppy seeds on the Chiaba Falls rock, scientists realized that the key question was this: if these were remnants of life, where did they originate? From the data collected, the answer became increasingly clear. It lies exactly where Perseverance now stands: Jezero Crater, a place considered the time machine of Mars. Jezero is not just a massive impact crater on the red planet. It is an ancient lake about 45 kilometers wide, once fed by a network of rivers that flowed in from the northwest. Images taken from orbit by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter clearly show the traces of a fan-shaped river delta, a type of structure that can only form when liquid water flows continuously over a very long period. This delta is the strongest hydrological evidence that ancient Mars once had a stable water cycle, a fundamental factor for the possibility of life. These rivers did not only carry water, they also transported minerals, carbon, and phosphorus, the essential elements that make up life. According to NASA's 2023 simulation models, the long-term existence of Jezero Lake required an atmosphere at least 100 times thicker than it is today, dense enough to maintain the pressure needed for liquid water, This reveals that during the Noachian-Hesperian era, more than 3.5 billion years ago, Mars may not have been cold and barren, but instead a blue planet with clouds, rain, and real flowing rivers. As those rivers poured into Jezero Lake, they brought with them sediments rich in clay and carbonate minerals, two substances considered the keys to preserving life. Clays, especially smectite and montmorillonite, form only in neutral water environments, ideal conditions for prebiotic reactions. On Earth, scientists have discovered traces of amino acids and simple organic compounds preserved in clay minerals for millions of years. Could Jezero be preserving a similar story, but one that has lasted billions of years in complete silence? Along with clays, the carbonates in Jezero play an equally important role. The discovery of carbonate belts around the ancient lake's edge is seen as evidence of chemical interaction between water and Mars's thick carbon dioxide atmosphere in ancient times. On Earth, carbonate rocks are often the cradle of microorganisms. Where stromatolites, structures formed by blue-green algae, were created, the oldest fossils ever found. Although scientists have not yet confirmed that Jezero once had similar formations. The carbonate samples here contain complex organic molecules. As first reported in Science Advances in 2024, spectral analysis from Perseverance's arm detected organic fluorescence at several points in carbonate rocks and clay-rich sediments. The presence of aromatic ring compounds suggests that carbon chains once participated in high-energy chemical reactions, possibly related to biological or prebiotic energy sources. Yet, the question remains, are these the traces of life that has vanished, or simply the result of natural chemical reactions between water and minerals? As layers of sediment several meters thick covered the Neretva Delta, they also protected and preserved what was left from the past. According to oxygen isotope analysis of rocks collected by the rover, scientists determined that the water in Jezero came from melting ice in nearby highlands and had undergone evaporation condensation cycles similar to Earth's climate. This was not a temporary lake formed by meteor impacts or acid rain, but a long-lasting aquatic ecosystem, a place where life, if it once existed, could have adapted, evolved, and eventually disappeared. If the Jezero Crater is the remnant of a world that was once filled with water, then the next question arises. What made this dry, dust-covered planet once capable of sustaining life? About 4.5 to 3.5 billion years ago, during the Noachian period, Mars was not at all like it is today. Beneath an atmosphere dozens of times thicker than now, made mostly of carbon dioxide, the red planet might have been covered by a vast ocean in the northern hemisphere, with river systems, lakes, and frequent rainfall. Topographical data from NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter shows ancient river valleys, eroded cliffs, and layered clay sediments, all undeniable evidence that liquid water once flowed on the surface for long periods. However, what amazes scientists is not only the presence of water, but how Mars could have maintained liquid water when sunlight was 30% weaker than today. The greenhouse effect from thick carbon dioxide might have helped. But recent climate models show that carbon dioxide alone was not enough to retain the planet's heat. A new hypothesis suggests that Mars's ancient atmosphere also contained methane and hydrogen, powerful greenhouse gases that could have resonated with carbon dioxide, forming a warm blanket that trapped heat for millions of years. When water reacted with volcanic basalt, it released hydrogen and minerals such as olivine, pyroxene, and serpentine. This process not only altered the surface but also generated chemical energy, the same kind that early microorganisms on ancient Earth used to survive in dark environments without sunlight. Many astrobiologists believe that if life once began on Mars, it may have started through iron or sulfur reduction reactions, similar to those in hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor of early Earth. But the ingredients for life are not just water and energy. Analyses from NASA's Curiosity and Perseverance rovers have confirmed the presence of 6 essential elements for life: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, found in various mineral forms such as carbonates, sulfates, phosphates, and nitrates. Carbonates indicate that carbon dioxide once dissolved in water. Phosphates are essential components of cell membranes and ATP, the energy currency of life. Sulfates provide chemical energy for sulfur-reducing microorganisms. Nitrates supply nitrogen for amino acids and DNA. On Earth, the combination of these 6 fundamental elements, along with moderate temperatures and available chemical energy, marked the beginning of biology. On ancient Mars, this combination may also have existed, not just in small areas like Jezero, but on a global scale. Hundreds of clay and carbonate deposits found across the surface suggest that wet and dry climate cycles occurred repeatedly. These cycles created the ideal environment for natural chemical reactions to gradually form complex organic molecules. But it was not only chemistry. Recent geochemical models from MIT and NASA suggest that the weaker ultraviolet radiation of the young sun could have helped synthesize formaldehyde and amino acids in the Martian atmosphere, similar to prebiotic reactions that occurred on early Earth. Could life have formed simultaneously on 2 planets, and one of them later destroyed? That question became even more haunting when probes discovered traces of organic compounds, complex carbon chains buried in rock for billions of years. At Jezero, Perseverance detected carbon and hydrogen-rich rocks, partially oxidized and embedded in clay sediments. Spectral analysis revealed distinct chemical differences between the core and the outer layer of these rocks, a phenomenon that might be related to ancient microbial activity. No one dares to declare it proof of life, but no one can completely dismiss that possibility either. Then Mars began to change. As the planet's core cooled, its global magnetic field disappeared. Without the magnetic shield to protect it, the solar wind gradually stripped away the atmosphere, leaving behind a barren world. Water evaporated, the atmosphere thinned, and methane, if it was once produced by microorganisms, escaped into space. Within a few 100 million years, a once blue planet turned into a red desert. Perhaps not everything was lost. Beneath the surface, where temperatures remain stable and ice might still exist, life, if it ever existed, could have retreated underground. Some scientists believe that ancient lava tubes, subsurface ice, or briny water pockets deep below the surface might be the last refugees of microscopic life, hidden from the sun's deadly radiation. Laboratory experiments have shown that many extremophiles on Earth, such as Deinococcus radiodurans and methanogens, can survive in Martian conditions for thousands of years. As evidence from Jezero Crater reveals that ancient Mars once had rivers, lakes, and even a stable chemical environment capable of sustaining life. Humanity now stands before a monumental threshold. For the first time in history, the concept of a habitable planet is no longer just imagination. But as we move closer to the answer, scientists have grown more cautious than ever. They understand that even one mistaken conclusion could repeat the same errors that once led humanity to misunderstand the truth itself. This scientific caution was born from the memory of past moments. When the world once believed it had discovered life, only to be met with disappointment. In 1976, NASA's Viking lander touched down on Mars and conducted the labeled release experiment. When Martian soil samples reacted by releasing CO2 gas. The world was ecstatic. It seemed to be the first signal of microbial metabolism. And years later, scientists discovered that the reaction had been nothing more than a chemical illusion. Martian soil contained perchlorate, a highly oxidizing compound capable of imitating biological reactions, but not caused by life. Two decades later, in 1996, scientists discovered the meteorite ALH 84001 in Antarctica. Inside it were nanoscale structures resembling ancient bacteria. Possibly fragments that had reached Earth from Mars millions of years ago. The discovery shocked the world. But as analytical technology advanced, researchers realized those structures were the result of inorganic mineral deposition. Not biological processes. These two events changed planetary science forever. from faith and optimism to absolute caution. NASA then adopted an unshakable principle. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. From this came the CO-LD scale, short for Confidence of Life Detection. A 7-level verification system considered the ethical wall of planetary science. It requires scientists to proceed step by step, carefully, as if deciphering an ancient code written on the surface of Mars. Currently, the samples collected by the Perseverance rover from the Shayava Falls area, part of the ancient Neretva Vallis Basin, are classified between Level 2 and Level 3. The zone of potential hypothesis. Is the red planet truly empty? Or is it concealing something beneath its frozen crust? As humanity advances further into the 21st century, the newest data from orbiters and exploration rovers have begun to redraw an astonishing picture. Life on Mars may have never truly vanished. It may simply be hidden, waiting to be discovered. In 2018, a radar signal from the Mars Express spacecraft of the European Space Agency shocked the scientific community. Beneath the ice cap at Mars's south pole, the Mars's radar detected an unusually strong reflection. Similar to radar echoes produced by liquid water beneath glaciers on Earth. After years of analysis, scientists determined that this was a region of salty water. Located more than 1.5 kilometers deep, and extending for about 20 kilometers. With a high concentration of perchlorate salts, the water could remain in a liquid state even at temperatures as low as -70 degrees Celsius. This became the first solid evidence that Mars is not completely dry. But water alone is only a necessary condition. What is happening beneath that ice? Scientists believe that in this dark, freezing, and extremely saline environment, there could exist organisms similar to halophiles, salt-loving microorganisms, found on Earth. These microbes survive in Antarctic salt lakes. Remaining frozen for thousands of years and awakening with just a drop of melting water. If Mars once had life, this could be its final refuge. hidden in the darkness beneath thick layers of ice. Where time seems to stand still. Another clue comes from the planet's thin atmosphere. Methane, a gas that breaks down quickly under ultraviolet radiation, continues to appear seasonally. Its concentration rising sharply in the summer and nearly disappearing in the winter. This behavior is strikingly similar to biological methane emissions on Earth. However, the data is inconsistent. Methane has not always been detected in the same locations. Or at the same times, deepening the mystery. It might originate from underground gas reservoirs or from chemical reactions between water and bedrock. But it could also be a sign of microbial activity occurring on a microscopic scale. On the surface, Mars is harsh and unforgiving. With an average temperature of -63 degrees Celsius, heavy cosmic radiation and an atmospheric pressure only 0.6% that of Earth's, any liquid water would evaporate instantly. So if life exists, where could it hide? Deep collapse pits in the Tharsis and Elysium regions are thought to be entrances to underground cave systems. That extend for tens of kilometers. At such depths, temperatures are stable, radiation drops by hundreds of times, and geothermal heat from ancient Mars may still persist. On Earth, similar places, from Iceland's ice caves to deep rock fissures in Chile's Atacama Desert, are havens for extremophiles, organisms that survive without sunlight. Relying solely on chemical energy from reactions between water and minerals. Many scientists now believe that the Martian soil itself may contain sources of chemical energy sufficient to sustain microorganisms. When cosmic radiation penetrates the red soil, it generates hydrogen peroxide and superoxide, powerful oxidants. While toxic to most Earth life, if Martian organisms evolved to use this energy, they could endure for millions of years in a dormant state. Becoming active only when conditions allow. A NASA experiment simulating Martian conditions showed that certain Earth bacteria such as Deinococcus radiodurans survived 5 years under extreme radiation. This proves that if life ever existed on Mars, it could withstand environments far more hostile than we once believed. There is also the possibility that Martian life may not resemble anything known on Earth, A research team at Cornell University proposed that in an environment lacking water, Martian organisms could use hydrogen peroxide as a biological solvent. All these hypotheses, from methane fluctuations to subsurface salt lakes, point toward one conclusion: Mars is not silent. It is a living planet in transition, still breathing, still changing. And perhaps still hiding something alive. Each radar sweep beneath the polar ice and each drill by a rover into the Martian soil brings humanity one step closer to uncovering the truth we have pursued for more than half a century. The journey to search for life on Mars has progressed from the skepticism that followed the Viking experiments to the most complex chemical evidence ever obtained by the Perseverance rover. The final answer now awaits the moment when the Mars sample return mission completes its last leg. Bringing those precious Martian samples back to Earth in the early 2030s. This event will not only mark a milestone in science, it will force us to re-examine the history of Earth itself. Completely transform the way we search for life beyond the solar system and profoundly reshape our philosophical understanding of humanity's seemingly lonely place in the cosmos. On the other hand, if MSR ultimately confirms that no life exists on Mars, that conclusion will still hold extraordinary scientific importance. It will provide critical data that allows us to pinpoint the exact conditions under which life can collapse. The loss of a planet's magnetic field, the erosion of its atmosphere, and the mechanisms by which a planet can die after it has once lived. This quest is a reflection of humanity's endless longing to understand. A mirror of our boundless curiosity that transcends tens of millions of kilometers of space. Life on Mars is not merely the story of another planet. It is the story of ourselves, of a species that never stops questioning, never stops reaching, and never stops dreaming. Thank you for staying with WUFO Space until the very end of this journey through the vast universe. If you found this video interesting and insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WUFO Space so you won't miss our next cosmic adventures. Your support means the world to us and fuels our passion to keep exploring the wonders beyond.